We should have taken to National Council of Education for certification that is equivalent to our A level in Uganda here. So a certificate from the National Council of Higher Education in cases where such academic qualifications are the equivalent of advanced A level or obtained outside of Uganda should have been submitted by now. Actually, the law says you should have submitted 2 months to nomination. Further, aspirants will be required for civil servants who intend to contest. They are required to present evidence or proof of resignation in the case of public. Already we are getting petitions. Can you believe it? Even before we have had nomination for parliament, some people already petitioned me. Yamakama is going to contest as a member of parliament. He has not resigned. People are so vigilant these days. Saying so and so, I already have petitions in my office. So and so wants to contest, but he has not resigned. Don't allow him. So we are saying, Kakana, you wait. Maybe the person will not turn up for nomination. It's only we only receive petitions post nomination. So let's wait and see what will happen. Then nomination of, as I've mentioned in my opening remarks, we also have nominations for 6 special interest groups. Those who are going to be elected to parliament representing the various special interest groups. The nomination of candidates for election of members of parliament representing the following special interest groups will be conducted during the said period, that is to say 22nd and 23rd October, Wednesday and Thursday, 2025. Once again, these are representatives of all the persons of parliament. I've already given the number of vacancies or positions. Representatives of persons with disabilities, representatives of workers, representatives of the youth. All these are members of parliament. Please note that the nomination of candidates for election of representatives of the 5th special interest group, which I have not highlighted here, and that is the Uganda People's Defense Forces, will be conducted at a later date. It is not part of tomorrow and Thursday's proceedings, no. And it will be done in accordance with the provisions of Section 9 of the Parliamentary Elections Act. We shall notify that constituency when we get to the period for their elections. The nominations for the above 4 special interest groups categories which I've highlighted shall be conducted at the Electoral Commission headquarters here. For the special interest groups nominations, they will take place here. If I'm not mistaken, I think this arrangement is what is going to be used for those nominations, and shall begin at 9 a.m. and end at 5 p.m. on each of the appointed dates. An aspiring candidate for member of parliament representing a special interest group shall be a citizen of Uganda and a registered voter, and will be required to fulfill all the requirements for nomination as outlined in the guidelines issued by the Electoral Commission for each of those special interest groups, that is, older persons, persons with disabilities, workers, and youth. The Electoral Commission calls upon all stakeholders in the electoral process to take note of the above dates and to ensure compliance with the nomination requirements and procedures. The nomination is available at all city or district electoral commission offices across the country, or can be downloaded from the Commission's website, www.ec.or.uk. The Commission appreciates aspirants who have submitted their nomination documents in advance to the respective city or district returning officers for verification. Stakeholders are urged to strictly follow the prescribed payment procedure to ensure a smooth nomination process and avoid any inconveniences. Similarly, the Commission reiterates our commitment to ensure that the nomination exercise is conducted with the utmost integrity, transparency, and the highest level of professionalism. I wish to emphasize the following. Aspiring candidates will be required to submit all the requisite documents for verification on nomination day. The Commission will, after scrutiny and satisfaction that the requirements have been fulfilled, declare the aspirant duly nominated. Secondly, upon successful nomination, candidates who wish to meet with their supporters to launch their manifestos are advised to organize and conduct such meetings in full compliance with the traffic regulations and laws governing public assemblies. Please, want to appeal to all the MOP aspirants or those who have succeeded in getting nominated. Let us follow the law. Let us abide by the law, the traffic regulations. Let us be mindful of the right of other road users so that we avoid disruption of other users who are going about their normal activities using the same routes. Just drive with your two vehicles to the nomination venue, and that is it. Thereafter, you can go to and prearrange the venue and meet yourself, the nominated candidates, from the 24th to the 27th of October in their electoral districts for purposes of harmonizing their campaign programs, after which candidates' campaigns will commence on 10th of November 2025 and run until 12th January 2026. So just emphasizing what I've already mentioned. As stated above, now the other issue maybe I should talk about is presidential elections. As you are all aware, the presidential candidates were nominated and they officially commenced campaigns on the 29th of September. I think this should be the third week. On behalf of the Commission, I'd like to commend the presidential candidates. The exercise is moving on relatively, generally, smoothly, to the amusement of some people. And also some people asking, he said, it's like there are no campaigns. Things are moving on smoothly. Tunalabayo katia gasi. Chairman. I want to commend the presidential candidates, their supporters, and the people of Uganda in general, and the security agencies, law enforcement agencies and security agencies in general, so far for ensuring that we portray an image of a country that can manage its affairs, and we do them very well. To me, that is a positive. That we can do these things, we can manage our affairs very well in a civil, lawful, respectful manner. Although there are some people, who had started, they had started, we said no processions, but they were moving massively with processions. We called for a meeting here of agents of presidential candidates, together with the Uganda Police Force, law enforcement agencies, and we raised these issues, and I think we are soon going to have another one. Agents, I'm glad you are here. We should now have a review of how things are moving on. I think these interactions are very important. We are going to utilize them. We also continue to have engagements with law enforcement and other entities of government. We want to ensure that our country remains stable, peaceful, tranquil, and enjoyable for all of us. So the presidential campaigns are going on. Under the law, once nominations are concluded for presidential candidates, then the Electoral Commission shall establish or declare the polling day. So in light of that provision, the Commission wishes to inform the people of Uganda and the presidential candidates that presidential polling will take place on the 15th of January 2026. 15th of January 2026, that's when polling will take place. Okay? Now, what that means, therefore, the law, in line with the law, because the law says that campaigns shall cease or stop presidential campaigns, or campaigns for that matter generally, shall stop 24 hours, no, 48 hours. 48 hours? 48 hours prior to polling. 48 hours before polling day. Since we have said the 15th January as polling day, I think for all elections, it means the 48 hours will lapse on the 13th, or will start to run from 13th of January, which therefore means that the campaigns for all elective positions will run up to 13th of January, not 12th. Because we could not tell the exact date, we had not yet set the date for polling. And now that we have set the date for polling as 15th, the campaigns will therefore officially end on the 13th of January 2026. We want all the candidates to take note. This is not only applicable to presidential candidates, but it also applies to all elective positions, local government and parliamentary. So presidential candidates are at liberty to make the necessary adjustments in line with the polling day. Adjustments in their campaign programs or schedules in line with the polling day. Once again, want to appeal to all stakeholders, all those candidates and their supporters, and all entities and individuals who have a role to play in this election, in these elections. Let us abide by the law. Let us maintain the peace and stability that we see playing out now. Years where the candidates have passed on, those who are still alive, having been nominated, will not have to get re-nominated or get nominated afresh. It is only to fill that slot which has been left by the dead candidate. So we are proposing to have these nominations, fresh nominations, conducted on the 27th and 28th of October as dates for fresh nominations. Since it's not a countrywide problem, it is in a few specific areas. We shall get in touch with those areas where we are going to conduct those fresh nominations. As stated above, polling for parliamentary elections, that is directly elected member of parliament, and this woman representative of parliament, will take place on the same day. Since presidential and parliamentary elections take place on the same day, it means therefore that parliamentary elections also take place on the 15th of January. In line with the Article 61 Clause 2 of the Constitution, the Commission will appoint and publicize the various dates on which the delegates' conferences will be held for purposes of the election of representatives of special interest groups, that is older persons, persons with disabilities, workers, youth, and UPDF. We shall be appointing specific dates for these delegates' conferences. In conclusion, the Commission calls on all participants, agents, supporters, and the general public to uphold the values of peace, dignity, and mutual respect throughout the nomination processes and the upcoming campaign periods for peaceful elections in our countries. Please once again, parliamentary candidates, we don't want to see some of the episodes that played out during your party primaries. Let us remain civil. Let us remain law-abiding. And I believe we shall have a very successful nomination and campaigning process. Then, once again, the use of money to influence voters during campaigns or after nominations is prohibited under the law. No candidate, once you are being nominated, is allowed to permitted to use money to influence voters. That is an electoral or a criminal offense. This is not even dignified with the electoral offense. It's a criminal offense to bribe voters. We have said before through the media that fundraising in places of worship in our communities should be put on hold until after the electoral processes, so that we do not provide an avenue for candidates to begin to use money to influence voters. Those projects can hold on. We have on our boundary. Is it about 3 months to go? Those projects can hold on until we are done with these elections. So please, want to appeal to all candidates, presidential, parliamentary, local government, do not use money to influence voters. Do not give out holes at the CBO, kuwa president, wabale kujja mu lukungana lw'abaana b'amawulire. Olwaleero tutaddewo olukungana luno okutegeeza eggwanga biki ebigenda mu maaso okusinziira ku pulogulaamu yaffe y'okulonda kwa bonna ogenda kubeera mu mwaka gwa 2025. Nga bwe mumanyi, waliwo ebitugenze nga tukola nga bitambula bulungi, gye twogera kati twamaze okusunsulamu abagenda kwesimbawo ku bifo bya gavumenti z'ebitundu, era kati tuli mu kuwuliriza okwemulugunya okuvudde okusunsulwamu okwo. Waliwo abawakanya nti gundi tiyandibadde asunsulwamu, bandibadde oba bamukwasa ebendera y'ekibiina mu bukyamu. Kati ezo ensonga zetuwuliza kati era twakafuna oza kwemulugunya okulinga mu 200 emisango bakwemulugunya 200 okuba mu bitundu ebitali bimu eby'eggwanga. Era nga n'akakiiko tubadde tutuula wano olunaku lwonna lwose nga tubaawo kiro nnyo, ssaawa 4 z'ekiro, ssaawa 5, nga tugezaako okuwuliza ensonga ezo kubanga tulina ozimaliriza omu bwangu, kubanga ekidirira kati kyenyerabidde okwogera mu Luzungu nga tumaze engeri gye tumaze kati okusunsulamu abagenda kwesimba mu bifo byonna ebitali eby'enjawulo. Kati tugenda tuteekateeka okukuba obululu, kwegamba oyo yenna amaze okusunsulwamu nga tawakanyiziddwa oba nga awakanyiziddwa naye ng'ensonga. You are at liberty as a candidate to fund your agents. Those are going to do the work for you during campaign. Those ones you can give them, but not for influencing voters. That's not permitted. If we can observe the law, if we can have our country at hand, then I'm sure we're going to have a very successful electoral process in all areas. I want to thank you for listening to me.